systems are offline.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
He's alive!
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Meddling kid. Trace the call. It's coming from inside the
Be
house.
afraid. Be very.
How's it going, people? And welcome to an all-new episode of Adventures in Murderland. We are an LGBTQ plus true crime comedy podcast hosted by me, Mike James, and the huge dinosaur shit to my Laura Dern, Alan Cassidy.
You're right, guys.
Hello. That was a Jurassic Park reference, if you didn't understand.
Are you talking to me there?
Yes.
Oh no, I knew that.
Ah, okay. I'm glad. Oh, you're a little bit loud. Let me just lower this down. It's going into the red on the thingy-majingy.
Is that any better?
Yes, I think that's where we want you.
Go.
Yes, right down there. Okay, so for the first sort of 10-15 minutes or so, for people who don't tune into the podcast on the regular, we're just going to talk a little bit of shit, chit chat, as we like to say. So we'll put, if you want to just jump straight to the Grizzlies and get into the murdery goodness, we'll put the sort of time code to where that sort of takes place in the show notes down below. So if you want to go do that now. Okay. Right. So if you're still here, check out those geeks who skipped, right? Those fucking losers. Missing out all this hot goss. No, as per usual, I don't think we have too much hot goss. So I thought, Alan, we would have a little topic. I don't know if you've seen lately the news about the thing that happened in Manchester with those two women with the jam. Did you see this?
Oh, where he was naked and he was
Yes.
just covered in jam and he called it art.
Yeah. Well, it could be art, right? I mean, for those people who don't know, this is kind of local news to the city in which we are residing.
Manchester City.
Manchester City. Very high class city. No, it is really not. I think it has its parts, right? It's got its parts, but we're not.
What do you mean?
Those parts. It's got its classy parts, right?
Oh yeah,
So-
definitely, like any place does.
but we're not in that part. But yeah, there was these two lovely, luscious ladies who stripped themselves of all the material goodness of clothing and sat on the bench in the middle of the city centre, smeared themselves with sticky globular jam, strawberry jam in particular, hooked up a toaster next to them.
I didn't know about the
Did you
toaster.
know about it?
No.
Yes. And they had like a power thing, a power battery thing that they had hooked up, and they hooked a toaster up to it. They were making toast, and they had bread, and they were just sort of smearing the bread all over each other and eating it, and then getting the toast out and smearing that on and eating it.
Okay, so every kind of art has an explanation behind it to why the artist did that. So what was the explanation behind it then?
Well, Alan, that's the thing. I don't know the explanation. But does art necessarily need to have an explanation behind it? Isn't art in the eye of the person who's interpreting art?
Well, yeah, but there is always an explanation.
Sometimes,
most
but
times.
they might want to keep
When
that
it's-
super duper secret, right?
When it's like modern art and contemporary art, that's when they don't do it. When it's just like a blob on a canvas
well,
sort of thing.
what they were doing on the bench was not really, it wasn't Renaissance, was it? It was modern art, right?
No, that's what I was saying in modern art.
Ah, yes. Yeah, so modern art. So they wouldn't really have an explanation, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, but a lot of this is very controversial. A lot of modern art isn't exactly art now, is it? like I said, it's like
George Stephen Bartholomew.
you got like a spot of red or blue paint just on a white canvas,
And it's beautiful.
and it's just one spot that's probably just dribbled down a little bit, and then that's hanging up in a tate.
I cannot believe you said that. I would interpret that dot as a perfect visual representation of the downfall of our socio-economic society and the troubles and tribulations that religion has caused upon children.
It was like in the same with the Pompidou as well. It was
I
like,
love the Pompidou.
It was good. Don't get me wrong, but I just didn't understand it. I don't know if that's just me being a bit naive or
yes, it is
a bit unintelligent. But
no, I like the Pompidou for the reason that I get to appreciate art in the same way as everybody else for once. Because usually if I go into the Louvre or something, like we just take a little walk to the Louvre. But we have been to the Louvre.
Yeah.
And in there, I am full of bemusement and also bamboozlement at a lot of the images around me. I don't quite understand a lot of classical art, but the people around me, they do, because there's explanations and historians and things. In the Pompidou, I get to be surrounded with people in the same way. They don't understand it either.
But there's, with like old art, I think the explanation's there in the picture, because it's like, there's like ones where it's like a war, like you got self-portraits, you got all kinds of stuff like that.
Yes, and they go into the brushstroke, but the brushstroke is the anger.
Oh, that's where I get lost, yeah.
Of the artist, and it represents, and the colours of the blue represent this, and I think it's very interesting. But yeah, the ladies with jam, though. I mean, if you look at something like the Mona Lisa, which I'll have you, I do find a little underwhelming.
It is underwhelming, but I like the forensic side of that painting.
Oh, the fact that there could be a painting underneath the painting. And
I like that sort of stuff.
And on the paint underneath that painting is Catherine Zeta-Jones.
I was actually thinking of it.
It's the clown.
Yeah.
Oh, the clown is underneath the layers.
Yeah,
of
it's
the
like
Mona Lisa.
Tim Curry's it as well.
Ooh. Now that would be spookalicious, just in time for Halloween. So, yeah, no other opinions apart from that on the women with jam? No?
I don't have an opinion, because I would like an explanation.
I don't need an explanation. I want to figure one out myself.
Okay, off the bat, right now, like that. Yes. What do you think?
Feminism. Females. I think that the jam represents the menstrual pain that women undergo, and
what's the bread then?
The bread is the masculine tendencies in society to mop up the feminine, I don't know, to utilize women in a way which is unseemly and ungodly.
Okay, why is it toasted?
Well, toast and jam is better than toast and bread. Yeah.
And the last one is why they smearing on each other.
Because it's female empowerment. What's more powerful than two women smearing each other's menstrual blood all over each other? That's fucking empowerment, right?
Okay.
I mean, once you've burnt your bra and changed yourself to shit, where'd you go from there? Smear your fucking menstrual blood. Ooh, there was that woman who pulled that paper out of her vagina, right? Remember that in the Liverpool Tate?
What?
We went to the Liverpool Tate one time, and there was that big scribe of paper that was in the frame, and I was like, "Ooh, what's that piece of paper?" And then it had a photograph of the woman who had rolled up this long sheet of paper and then inserted it into her vaginal cavity, only to stand on stage and remove it later. I don't know how she fit all that out there. Training, hard work, and dedication.
Well, think about the woman who blasts ping pong balls out in Benidorm or wherever it is.
That's not that hard, though, right?
Well, she puts a load in there, doesn't she?
Yeah, but I think it can hold a baby. It can hold ping pong balls. I think ping pong balls are more versatile in how they can stuff inside of little pockets of nothingness. But a piece of paper, though, for it to be perfectly lengthways...
Maybe that's the art of it.
I think that may be the art of it. Yeah. They say you can only fold paper 12 times, any size of paper 12 times, right? Before
Apparently
you can't fold
so,
it
yeah.
anymore. Yes. Okay, well, we digress. From that, I just thought I was trying to have a civilized conversation about art and to show our intelligence in the artistic realm. I thought we could come across as two very sophisticated young gentlemen rather than the
failed
plundering idiots in which we always seem. But I think we have reinforced that. Or are we not? Maybe this is all an act. Maybe this is art. Maybe this is all an art, and we are the artists, perhaps. Perchance to dream.
No.
Well, I think that's enough chit-chat for now. You probably appreciated that if you were high, stoned, on some sort of illegal narcotic, because that is how it made me feel. Okay, so now we're going to jump straight into the Grizzly Myers for everybody. Because the last few have been very fact-intensive and very... There's been a lot of fucking information, man, in those last three. I mean, I enjoyed them, but it's been a lot.
It's very draining.
So this one is more, we're just going to sort of go through little bits and bobs and hopefully have a good conversation about this shit, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the Grizzlies. Ow. Tarrant County, Texas. On September 20th, 1980, a man and woman stood at the altar to celebrate their love and join together as man and wife. But as the two lovebirds left the chapel that day, little did they know that the vow they'd made just moments ago would be an eerie foreshadowing of events to come. Till death do us part, they said. But exactly whose death were they speaking of, and how many innocent lives would be lost along the way? This is the story of Ricky Lee Green and Sharon Dollar.
AKA?
No, AKA. They don't have an
okay.
AKA. I do like them to have an AKA, but not all of them do. Not all of them are as infamous as the other ones who have AKAs. I mean, these weren't going around for too long amount of time. I think usually the AKA sort of thing usually creeps up when someone's been, I think usually the newspapers do that, right? Where like if someone's on the prowl for a long amount of time, like the newspapers will give them an AKA
Or is it like something specific that they do as well? Like a MO sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, without spoiling it, I mean, I couldn't really tell you what this... I mean, this guy's MO.
No, don't tell me, yeah.
No, I won't tell you. Well, his MO wouldn't lend for a very tasteful AKA. Let's say that, at least. So the main person we're going to be focusing on is Ricky Lee Green. We'll get into Sharon later in the story. So Ricky was born on December 27th, 1960 in Tarrant County, Texas. Ricky, guess what kind of childhood he had, Alan? Can you take a wow guess?
An abusive one.
Wow. Yes, abused by his father and his grandfather for many years. Just as an example, at the age of 6, apparently Ricky's father, who's called Bill Green, would sit on the porch of his house with a BB gun, and he would fire the BB gun at the child and say, "Run, motherfucker, run." And,
really?
Yeah, and he would be like, "You've got to escape the BB guns." And he'd be shooting, and the kid would have to try and dodge it, but obviously the kid wasn't that good of a dodger, and the dad was a pretty good shot, to be honest with you. And he would hit him with the BB guns. And these weren't like plastic ones. These were like
the little metal ball bearings sort of things.
Real ball bearings at the child. Horrible times. I also read that he would lock the children in a closet.
Is this still the granddad, yeah?
No, the father.
Oh, right, okay.
Father, Bill Green. He would lock the children in the closet and then growl at them from the outside like this.